What's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 130 of the Always Race Day podcast presented by the Karl Auto Group. I'm Connor Ferguson here with Damon Helgevald, Josh Olmstead, Caleb Sloha. Great episode coming up today. We're going to have our on-show content meeting about what we're going to do about the Huset's preview and all that stuff. Carson Macedo's back with the World of Outlaws back in a race car. With a couple of top 10 finishes this weekend at Beaver Dam. Gio Scelzi gets his first World of Outlaws win this season. And Alex Palou is still really good at driving race cars and might stay with Chip Ganassi. So lots to digest on this episode. But first, we have to thank our partners at the Karl Auto Group. In case a bunch of hoodlum kids in your neighborhood come by and throw bologna and eggs at your car, and you're like, hey, I don't want to go get this thing fixed. I don't want to go to the body shop. Just go to Karl Auto Group. Just go get a new car. You don't need that one. That one's old now. Bad paint, too much hassle to take it into a body shop. I would know. My dad works in one, owns one. Take it to the Karl Auto Group. Just go get a new car. How's that, Damon? I'm running out of ideas to fit into situations to where you need to buy a new car, so I'm resorting to what I would do if I had $1 billion of revenue every day.
I mean, that was about as good as you're going to get. It sounded actually reasonable for once.
That was, okay. I'll get back to the drawing board and make them more out there. How you guys doing? Father's Day, wrapping down. I was in the sun all day today, so I'm like, it wears me out. I don't know what it is. I think it's something with vitamin D, but
it means you need to get in the sun more.
My DOW is down.
Your Dow?
Yeah, my Dow.
He's got so if you didn't find this out on the last episode, he's now upgraded on his computer and it's showing him the stock market. He doesn't know what the stock market was.
I accidentally hit update and I asked Damon why Austin Dillon's sponsor was appearing on the bottom left corner of my screen and why it had an arrow pointing. It said 1.72%.
Yeah, he's got the stock markets now, so Connor has finally entered adulthood.
Don't bring that up when my boyfriend's in the room. It's a big argument.
Oh, boy.
It's much smarter to invest money in teams winning championships in the future.
I hear that.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same thing. If you put a comparable amount of money in and you know exactly when they go up and down because the games are played in front of you. Don't roll your eyes at me, Josh. Are you agreeing? That was a rolled eyes and agreement.
I didn't roll my eyes. I was just looking at. I have the golf game on right behind you. So,
you got to remember we have a rooting interest here in the golf tournament.
We do.
Right. So Josh and Damon both put matching. What do you call it when you put money into the stock market? Investments into today's U.S. Open.
And it is not paying out.
We need a putt off here.
We need some
putt off. Oh man,
we need the greens to have like Happy Gilmore happen to it here. The guy fall off the tower and
just need a groundhog to pop out.
That'd be awesome.
Would you guys subscribe if, like, at the end of a golfing event, if they ran out of tiebreaker holes, they just said we're going to play 18 again, but you guys can only use your putters?
I would subscribe to that.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
I'm in.
I played about 3 holes with.
I was going to ask you, did you get tired of it or what?
No, I played 3 holes with my putter and it sucked. And I never want to do that again.
Why'd you do that?
Because we were bored.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
And had maybe a couple extra beverages in the clubhouse. It's generally what leads to that, Connor. You should try golfing once in a while. That would help alleviate 2 problems. A, your lack of sun, and B...
It's not a lack of sun. I just get tired when I'm in the sun a lot.
Again, because of lack of sun. And B, then you can enter adulthood with 2 ways, stock markets and golf.
No, I got to wait till I'm at least 35 to do that.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, I'm not, I say I'm old all the time, but I'm not that old.
Pretty old.
I will watch golf, though. My grandpa loved golf. It's fun. Caleb, you look annoyed. Are you okay? It's just chilling.
Caleb doesn't watch golf, so he doesn't know what's going on.
That's
Caleb's
fair.
a fan in the betting department.
See, and now I
joined the wrong podcast. I didn't realize I was on the Always Golf Day podcast.
See, well, this is why I'm reintroducing my argument of this is a dumb week to take the week off for NASCAR. Everyone sat around with their families all day and didn't have anything to watch but IndyCar
And golf.
and golf.
and F1.
What?
Again, just IndyCar and golf.
Yeah, IndyCar and golf.
There was a lot of baseball today.
I heard Max
A lot of
Verstappen
baseball.
has
College
led.
World Series.
Yeah, it's College World Series going on. I heard Max Verstappen has led every lap dating back to the first lap of the Miami Grand Prix.
Correct.
Jesus.
I don't know if it was the first lap of the Grand Prix because he did pass Perez late, so I don't think it was the first lap, but dating back to that
lap.
race.
There we go. I fixed it.
Yeah.
That's still it's bad however you look at it. Man. Yeah, so a lot of stuff to dive into today. Huset is coming up this week. Josh Gerlach and I I think it's Gerlich. It's one of the two. For some reason, everyone on this show, I mispronounce their last name at least once a month. So there's Josh's for the month. We'll be live on-site coverage of the Huset's High Bank Nationals from Wednesday through Saturday. Going to be an insanely fun weekend. I'm taking the PS5 up there in the hotel. I'm going to kick the crap out of Josh in the World of Outlaws game.
You know he's a professional iRacer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
He's going to be a rookie looking at that driver's steering wheel view. And I'll be back. I'll be my behind the car chase camera so I can see what's going on around me. Easy. Wipe the floor.
You have fun with that.
Should be a fun week. The format hasn't been released yet. They were talking about it on the Huset show tonight. They're on their race day show. It sounds like the format's going to be pretty similar to last year's. Instead of 8 cars getting inverted for the heat races on the prelim nights, it's going to be 6 this year. And then I believe only 2 of the 3 prelim nights are going to go towards your lineup on Saturday. So I don't know how that's going to work. They haven't announced it yet. I don't love how late they're announcing it. I think drivers going to the track should know. I guess what I'm trying to say, my overall take on this is don't announce it Wednesday morning. Please announce it Tuesday. Give me some time to digest the format to see if I think it's fair and to see what they want to do. Anyway, I think it's
or just show up and race.
No, well, here's the deal, Caleb. You can get into a bad format where you got guys purposely trying to qualify slow.
Yeah, so that's why you don't release the format until late, so people can't figure it out.
I can figure that out in 5 minutes. It just looks really unprofessional when you do that. Because they did that at Jackson for the Jackson Nationals. They released it so close to the race that there was talks of why are we doing this BS? This is a stupid format. How could you release this?
Well, I say just show up and race.
You can say that, but if you put a format in front of someone that it deliberately awards people for going slower, then it's not really a show up and race thing. It's a show up and look at this guy you haven't heard of start in the pole.
Sounds fun for the fans.
I liked what their format was last year. It was a little kooky, it was good overall. I would give it a 7.3 out of 10. Maybe that's a little high. I don't know. Damon's reacting to everything I say, and I'm feeling self-conscious about my pick.
No, we're in the same boat right now.
You should be. It's 2 parts. 1, the U.S. Open did not go in our favor.
Okay.
2, every format doesn't have to be the same.
No, I know. For what they're doing, it's going to be similar to. I don't want to say it's going to be similar to Knoxville Nationals, but when they say 2 out of the 3 prelim nights are going to contribute to Saturday's lineup, that makes me think sounds like we got a Hard Knocks type of thing on Friday night. Don't take my word for it. That is not confirmed by any means, but that I don't see too many different ways that only taking points for 2 of the 3 prelim nights would shake out. Would you agree, Damon?
I mean, yes and no. You still got it's more or less just another points paying race on the track, right?
And
we're still giving out points.
Each A main is 20 grand to win, and I think 10 grand for second. So it's for every prelim, and then it's 250,000 to win Saturday night. So 5,000 to start, I believe. I think
something like that.
Fifth gets 10,000. I don't know the numbers for second through fourth, but huge event coming up this week over there at Huset. We'll be there. Caleb and Josh might be in Davenport for the Hell Tour, and Damon might be in Moberly for the Hell Tour. People don't really answer their emails to me, I've come to know. So hopefully I wake up Monday and maybe we get some emails, but otherwise I'll have to work the phones and make sure we get that taken care of. But you guys know how that goes. We've done that song and dance on here.
Right.
I also want to throw this in just exclusively for podcast listeners before we start diving into racing. I don't think, I'm hearing rumblings that Buddy Kofoid is not, you will see him in a different car at some point this year, is the rumblings I'm hearing. I haven't heard that from Buddy. I haven't heard confirmation on anything like that, but it sounds like a familiar car might be in the works. It sounds like the deal he had with Vermeer was just for Speed Week, but again, nothing official there. I have no confirmation from anybody.
Wasn't he in the Indy Race Parts 71 there for about a 2-week stretch after he got released?
Yeah, for a bit.
Is that the car that he's going back into?
I don't think so. I think it might. I don't want to say what that is. I don't want to blow up their spot or anything. And
well, you aren't blowing it up. You're speculating. You can say it.
All right. Yeah. It sounds like the Roth 83 Junior might be making a comeback.
That'd be good for Roth.
I love seeing that car run.
It's a good second car, especially right now. It's probably
Narc has a lot of spots.
I wouldn't talking that. I wouldn't be surprised to see him send Buddy to run Knoxville for the next 4 or 5.
Yeah, would be cool to see. I hope something like that happens.
That's what they did with Kerry Madsen last year about this time, is they sent him solely to Knoxville so he could run that car at Knoxville, and then any close race around that was a big paying race, that car would show up to. But it's more to gather data for the nationals.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what comes of that, and see where Buddy ends up running. He's probably the most, I don't know, it's a peculiar storyline to follow through the summer months of the dirt season. So, and then I did want to clarify this from Saturday. We'll talk Knoxville first today. First time since 2013, Davey Heskin goes to victory lane at Knoxville. First off, really impressive. You don't see winless streaks like that come to an end at Knoxville a lot. So that I was really impressed with that. The storm came before I could interview hardly anyone after the race. So we're trying to run out of the track. Everyone's trying to get out and go. I had talked to Matt Morrow, Davey's car owner, and he had a quote in the video that was like, "You asked me if I would put Buddy Kofoid in this car, and I told you no because I like Matt so much." And the context behind it, I want to explain it for people that might have heard it. We were talking about what constitutes making a driver change in general. I didn't point blank go, I don't think Davey's fast. Do you think Buddy Kofoid would make this car go fast? It wasn't. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew it wasn't like that. But super awesome for Matt, fantastic guy, one of my good friends. So very excited to see him there. And then Chase Randall got his first career win at Knoxville in the 360 class. He had a badass pass on Garrett Williamson. I don't know if you guys saw that, but fun night of racing at Knoxville Saturday.
Yeah, good for Davey. He's had to drive some really bad race cars around that track in the last few years. So, and to win a track championship along the way in that time span too. Like, he's the only guy to beat Brian Brown in a track championship at Knoxville, I think, in the last 7-8 years, something like that. So, pretty cool for him. And then, like you said, what a good win for Chase Randall. We know, obviously he's been on here before and a great kid, and he's going to be good when it comes 410 time. I'm curious to see what car he gets to stick with, if he's going to stay in that Beaver 12 for a while. And
no, he's in the 2KS.
That's right. He had a good run in that too, didn't he?
Yep, I think he got third on Saturday.
So
he got me all out of whack. They ran the 410 race before the 360 because they were doing the border battle thing, didn't want the weather affecting stuff. And I was I want to go talk to Davey Heskin, but he has to go run another race.
I was going to ask this because I know Power Eye was down at Lake Ozark. Did Brown come and run Saturday at Knoxville?
Brian
Brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ayrton actually went down and won that Lake Ozark.
I know Ayrton did. That's why I asked, because I couldn't remember if I saw, because Brian ran Friday night when they ran up in northern Missouri. Mm-hmm. So that's why I asked if he was there on Saturday night.
Is that where I-70 is?
I-70 was, that's where they ran on Friday, was in Odessa, just outside. That's where they're building that new drag strip.
Oh.
Is at that same complex.
And will that be an HRA drag strip?
That's the hopes anyway.
Okay. As long as that's a hope, then I can be excited about it.
That is the intention that they have. If it gets done, we'll be speculating to see, but it should get done.
I reserve the right to care about drag racing or going to drag racing events for 3 factors, and that's 1, if it's the Fuel Altered Nationals, because it kicks ass as far as drag races go. 2, an HRA event. 3, if you have a drag strip, you're having a race, and monster trucks are going on the track.
My God.
So 3 things.
I was surprised. I was really expecting like the 4-wide to come into play here, but
Connor's a big fan of the 4-wide.
I like the 4-wide.
Well, I know, that's why I'm surprised that didn't come up.
I think they should only do it. I think they should only do it one weekend.
I agree, but
it's that was the NHRA's hope of a winter classic, and
that was Smith. That was a Bruton Smith deal.
Yeah,
that wasn't even NHRA, because he owns both of the tracks that have 4-wide, and he put them both in.
Yeah. Do you think if we could we run a 16 wide, and that way we have all the races go live on Fox Sports 1?
Stop.
Would that help?
Stop.
I'm kind of on board with that. Do like 16 wide, and then the slowest 4 get eliminated.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Don't encourage the man.
Shut up and watch your golf.
It's over.
It's soccer now.
We don't even have that to watch anymore.
You put soccer on it. This is the worst, dude. We sound like such losers.
God, what a terrible switch.
We're in the dog days of sports. I'm not gonna lie.
The College World Series is on.
Is it on right now?
Yes.
Say less. Hold up.
Florida is playing tonight.
Yeah, we're not podcasting or anything.
We're not. This is just Connor's ramble hour.
That's how it's marketed, is it not?
It's 100% marketed that way.
Hey, our boy Ayrton, that win's paying off for him tonight. He just won Heat 3 at Huset's. Tim Kading and Dusty Zomer were the winners in the first 2 heats. And Christopher Thram beats Chase Randall for Heat 4. I think. Hold on, he's finishing his lap.
Now he beats him.
Oh, there's a crash. I was wondering All right, I got to figure out how they're scoring this. I'm so confused.
Call me shocked.
We're on this like train of like consecutives in a row of Connor commentating during the podcast.
Yeah, well, I tried to tell people what's happening, and then I get tripped up because someone ultimately has something go wrong. Okay, this is still the last lap. Oh, I'm a mess today.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back on track here.
Let's do it.
What
Gio.
other dirt stuff? Oh yeah,
Gio got his win. Big for him. It was his night, the whole night. Chris called it before. It was like after qualifying. Chris texted me and said it's Gio's night tonight, so watch out for him. And then, obviously, concerns from people about Carson Macedo being able to race, and he qualified second right off the bat. 2 top 10s back to back. I thought that was really impressive and just super badass to see out of him.
Yeah, no doubt. That was cool. Was super happy that he was able to go. That we had saw earlier in the week that he was going to be able to. They had tweeted something out, I think, on like Wednesday or Thursday that he was going to be able to go, and then but you just don't know until you actually get in the car. You don't know what kind of shape he was going to be in. So that was cool to see. And then, like you said, turn it around with two top 10s, and really, he looked good. I mean, looked really good to start the night.
Yeah, the only part of his race and his program that looked off is that he got passed by a car in the A main on Friday.
Right.
Not so many people pass Carson Macedo.
Not right now, especially.
And did you see the Saturday results? So who won Saturday? Sheldon won Saturday.
Saturday was Sheldon.
Yep. So behind him was, not in this order, I don't think. I think it was David Gravel, Brad Sweet, and Carson Macedo. 3 title wins.
In that order.
Yeah, detrimental to maintain, not perfect attendance. I guess it is perfect attendance, but I don't want to say it like that. I think driver safety should be more important than getting back and racing for points, but obviously Carson ended up being okay, luckily. So all's well. A couple days of rest for him, and then they get right back into it Wednesday.
I will say the other thing that we haven't really touched on, and a part of it was because of all the stuff that happened with Carson in Knoxville, is David Gravel rolled out a brand new car last week at Knoxville. And since he's rolled out that car, besides the first night out, he has gone first, second. Like, he rolls out a brand new car and is 4 races in, and he's not finished worse than second outside that very first race, which, as we know, when you roll out a new car, generally doesn't go too well the first time out.
Yeah, they got a very good team over there. They're going to have a different paint scheme this week for the High Bank Nationals.
Hopefully it lasts more than one night this year.
Yeah, that was rough. We hyped that paint scheme up so much, and it was like right off the bat, it got boom.
Like the very first night, like the very first lap, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's a huge damn week. Like that race is going to be something special on Saturday night, especially if they can find a way to make it not rubber up. But I think Sheldon even showed last year that even if it does, like, we're still going to have stuff to talk about either way.
Well, it's like Gio said, or not Gio, like Dom told us when we had him on. He mentioned that race in particular. Track rubbered up right at the right time, and that was when Sheldon started to make his moves. And we're starting to get into the playground of Sheldon right now. He goes and wins the one there at Beaver Dam. He's run very well at Huset's.
Runs very well on those bull ring type of tracks. And I know Huset's is a little bit off on the bull ring style, but it's close enough.
It's smaller. It's a smaller Midwestern track, which that's where Sheldon makes his hay. I mean, the guy basically owns Peevely. I mean, he might as well own Peevely with the way he runs there. So it's starting to be his time. I think he's a little too far out to be in too much of points contention, especially when you've got Gravel and Sweet and Macedo finishing right behind you. You're not going to make too much ground up there.
It's tough, but what they say, like consistent results keep
But that's the thing.
away. It's
That's the
possible,
problem.
but no one, go ahead.
That's the thing that we talk about though with Sheldon all the time, right? Is consistency. That car does not have it. They either win or they wreck trying to win. Like there's no settling for fourth place. There's no settling for top 5. It's always I got to get that next position, which that's the way Sheldon was brought up in the sport, rightfully so. And it's just come back to bite him a couple of times. I do think we've seen him grow and take those top 5s and top 3s a little bit better now than what we saw early in his time in the 17 car. But still, it's either win or be main. It just there's not been a happy medium with that car here lately.
Yeah, you're either first or last chance showdown.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one time that's ever came in handy. That's the only time.
Only time.
Only time that's
only
ever
time Connor will ever use it.
Yeah.
He won't even use it in his tweets. That's how bad it is.
I never did. Dude, I have such a beef with it. Don't ask why. It's so stupid, but
Johnny Gibson's gonna be knocking on your door.
that and that stupid ass wheel in Ohio over there.
Can't get off the wheel.
I can't wait for what we're gonna do. You guys will this year's Knoxville Nationals are going to kick ass from our standpoint and Knoxville's, but I can't wait for you guys to see what we've got in store and what we'll be doing all summer. So, you guys want to hit IndyCar?
Yeah.
We'll never say no.
I know Josh will. So,
I mean, let's talk about first off the fight that we had in practice.
dude, the return of Will Power's double bird.
That
No one's ever looked cool emphatically flipping someone off. Can I do that on YouTube?
No,
I wouldn't.
you just did.
I just did. So okay. No one has ever looked cool doing that.
And now he's done it twice.
Now he's done it twice. And he looks badass every time.
That's
Three times. Sorry,
great.
3 times, right?
Go-to, like, it just. But like, if you would have told me, like, hey, 2 guys got into it during practice, and like there was like a physical altercation, which they didn't really like fight, but like they got physical. Like, I probably would not have picked those 2 until we got way, way, way down the list.
Right. Did you see?
I don't know. I think Will Power would have been near the top for me.
No, but
He's
not
about
against Scott
Dixon's
Dixon.
I don't know
about
about Dixon.
If I said, who do you think Will Power would fight? You'd get. I mean, you're going Romain Grosjean.
Oh, yeah.
You're going Devlin DeFrancesco.
Like a couple years ago, I think Power would have been higher up on the list, but like lately, it hasn't. He's kind of just been quiet. But
That's fair.
I just couldn't even believe it, especially just because that's not a move we typically see out of Dixon.
It looked like wrong place, wrong time type of deal. Dixon saved the car.
I mean, yeah, he didn't see him.
And hats off to those guys for like how razor thin that track was, and how there was a couple of lulls in the race. I think you were going to have that either way with how the grip line was, but to run that race and have the last 30 laps go without a big issue, like that was pretty nuts.
No one crashed out, to my knowledge.
I think you're correct. There is a lot of grass there. Did you see the other off-track thing with Will Power?
I didn't see it, but I heard about
it.
Yeah, so because of the grip, so what it was is like last year there was kind of a couple lanes to work with, or a lane and a half. And if you got over the edge a little bit, it was all right. This year it seems like that grip line has been shrunk, or the groove in the middle. And there was guys in the second practice session that they got over it just a little bit and spun. And it's guys that you don't usually see spinning. It was a very technically difficult track. And Will Power called it, I think he called it shit. It was either shit or crap. But then the track promoter, hearing these comments, drove one of the shit trucks over, like the waste sewage trucks that picks up all the crap from the porta potties and drove it over to park it by Will Power's motorhome. And so he left the keys in it, and it just stinks. And I guess Will Power just moved it over to Scott Dixon's.
Oh boy.
So that was just fun.
I missed that.
That's a good promoter. Like, I love quirky dudes that just will do stuff like that. Like, that's fun.
Right.
Loves quirky things like that, but doesn't like format changes. Unbelievable.
I'm optimistic that we get a good format for this race.
I'm basically, from what I've understood, he basically says, I like having different formats as long as they're ones that I like.
Right.
As long as there's not a positive to
not
going
open-minded
slower
to it.
or getting a worse result to set yourself up for a better thing. Now, there are going to be inverts, but you're getting points in qualifying, you're getting points in the heat race. So as long as those points line up, then it's fine.
But
Yeah, so anywho, then Alex Palou wins the IndyCar race.
Yeah.
Third in the last 4.
Yeah, 3 of the last 4. He passed Colton Herta with 6 laps to go. All right, is Andretti, like, it's not as bad as Ferrari, right? Their strategy.
No, Ferrari is definitely the worst.
It's like what happened today was
He made great strategy today, however, but anywho, it was bad.
Yeah, they're coming around. It's going to be 15 laps to go. Herta's pitting. He's like one of 3-4 guys to pit on that lap with coming to 15 to go. And they're like, he might have to watch his fuel if he's coming in this early. And I'm sitting there like, why? You were leading the race. Just come in the next lap. It didn't make any sense to me. It wasn't like the tires were drastically slower. I didn't think there was that much tire degradation.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would, even if you're losing time, you would go for time rather than running yourself out of fuel. So
yeah, and Palou wasn't catching him when Herta had a healthy car. So that's what I was perplexed by that. And then after Palou passed Herta, it kind of looked like Newgarden was making ground up, and he got it down to like 1.7, 1.6 seconds, and then Palou just took off.
Yeah, I definitely think that was Palou managing. He's very much been known to
manage,
not push the car.
Yeah,
like nurse the tires to have a little bit at the end just in case if needed.
And he is really good, and he's really good for IndyCar. And the best thing for IndyCar would be him staying with Chip Ganassi to stay on that IndyCar program and be a mainstay in the IndyCar series. And Racer.com, Marshall Pruitt, had a story over the weekend that there are things circulating that Alex Palou has asked Chip Ganassi if the 10 car is still available for next year. He sees Arrow McLaren 0 wins this year and Pato's less than stellar results, Josh, and says, I don't want to be a part of that.
He finished podium.
A couple of things.
Only one time.
After having 4 incidents today, he finished podium.
Yeah, well, the 4 incidents were glaring in Palou's eyes. Some of this sounds tongue-in-cheek. The stuff I'm making up about the race today the report said that Palou is kind of wondering where McLaren is this year, why they aren't faster, and that's why he asked for Chip Ganassi right now. I don't know how that's going to shake out. I don't know if we're going to see Chip Ganassi and Zach Brown do some contract wars over Twitter again. I hope we get to see that, or maybe we get like a charity fight or something like that.
Chip would win, first of all.
That's why I want that.
And
but also,
secondly, Chip would be stupid to let him go.
Yeah, I mean,
he wants to come back.
I agree.
Chip himself says, I like winners. Why, he's not going to get rid of the guy that's been doing all the winning. So
I don't think he was ever actively. I think there was a time where he was like, okay, I've had it with this Alex Palou dude, and he's not that good. Well, now he's really, really, really good. Not that he wasn't before, and he's a former champion. But yeah, I think you'll take him in the car, but I think there was a lot of chemistry that was interrupted for a bit with what happened last year.
Yeah, I don't. At this point, I would think it's water under the bridge, and
Yeah, that's what I'm
he's
thinking. I'm thinking like if I had to guess, Palou's going to be in the 10 next year. And do you have enough money to sign Erickson after that? I don't know how much money they need to sign Erickson, but I know his contract isn't signed. So
yeah.
Here's the one thing. Go ahead, Caleb.
To me, it would be silly for either side to leave in that situation when you got to get good thing working. Like it'd be stupid for Palou to leave, and it would be stupid for Ganassi to be like, no. It doesn't make sense.
what would be really stupid is to tweet out that you signed a contract to race for a team in a season where you're already under contract with the current team you're at.
Yeah.
When you're currently under that contract. The one thing I was going to add to that, though, too, is the fact that you mentioned the Ericsson deal on top of Palou. Eventually, rides are going to run out. Like, there's not enough rides for some of these drivers, and they can't just hop around from place to place because the rides that are open aren't going to pay near as well, even if you're taking a hometown discount to stay at Chip Ganassi if you're Ericsson or Palou in this stance.
And you have a young star who's shown very bright gimmicks of potential in Marcus Armstrong.
You trying to say glimpses?
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's a guy that will, for AJ Foyt's sake, I hope he doesn't leave, but overall, that's a guy that's going to make a good enough contract where he'll take a discount rate to go drive the 8 car that's won the Indianapolis 500.
I mean, he's already in a Ganassi car.
Who are you thinking of? Are you thinking of Kirkwood?
No, you said
Armstrong, the 11 car.
The 11. He's another guy. He's the.
I thought he was for some reason, I thought he was in the 55.
No, that's
Peterson.
Gotcha.
It's probably Damon because he's not racing the road courses or the oval courses.
That would make sense.
So that whole series is interesting with that. Ryan Hunter-Ray kind of went out and threw a dog. I like Ryan Hunter-Ray. I don't want to throw him under the bus.
But does that show that wasn't necessarily Connor?
I would hope. I don't think anything is. Connor Daly is a very versatile race car driver. He's one of those guys that if you put Connor Daly in a car, it's like J.R. Hildebrand, like how I described him. If you put him in a car and you give him a little bit of practice time, he's not going to finish last. He might not Kyle Larson it all the way to the front from the back, but he's not going to finish last. He's going to be middle of the pack at the very least, and that's where it sucks for Connor. But I do love that Nitro Cross started this week, and he got to race that, and it potentially will race that whole thing. Maybe he'll race SRX. Who knows?
He's got a truck ride lined up too.
Does he? Oh,
yeah.
I did see that. Maybe. Searching my mind.
He's driving Nice at Mid-Ohio.
There we go. How about that? How about a good role model for Carson Hocevar? How about that?
Well, the last time that Connor Daly tried to get into a lower level NASCAR ride did not go well for him.
Come on, the money team.
No, I'm talking about his time with Roush Fenway.
Oh.
And I remember he ran a niche race 2 years ago, and the truck combusted in the flames.
Yes,
all right. Well,
did that.
In case you guys wanted to hear Connor Daly get jinxed live on our show, that was that segment.
You're welcome.
So I think Ericsson is 74 back in the IndyCar standings. Newgarden is 81. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9 races to go, I believe.
9.
2 of those are at Iowa. You need consistent results. I don't think it's over yet, but Joseph Newgarden has one title? Just one. How many seasons that?
To my knowledge, yeah.
It is one, not 2?
I believe it's.
I don't want to get that wrong, but the amount of times where he's been the most dominant driver all year and hasn't won a championship is
2.
It is 2?
I thought it was 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it is too.
Speak up.
Well, I didn't know for sure, so
Yeah, that's why I asked. I didn't know off the top of my head. No, but I don't think the points race is over. I can see why people kind of do, but
No, because
maybe-
literally with 2 Iowas, I mean, it's like Newgarden goes out and wins them both, and Palou gets 5th and 4th. I mean, that's
like what, 50 points?
going to be a 50-point swing, and then you got to factor in there's 7 other races. So
Yeah, so looks like a lot, but you just got to see what happens. Their next race.
I mean, it is still a lot. Could we just I know, I understand that Newgarden is very good at Iowa, but like we saw last year, it is hard to show up and be dominant both days in a row. Like he's good there.
No,
but
he did that. His car broke.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is like
He didn't make it look very hard.
The ability to actually show up and execute on both days like that, it's not the easiest thing in the world, and that's not a given. Like if I'm Newgarden, I can't say, oh well, I've got 2 Iowa, so I've got this in the bag. Like that was my whole deal of
Yeah, that's why we do it for him on this show.
yeah, exactly. That's why I said way back when about hitting the panic button, because you can't just go in and assume that you're going to be super dominant coming up and Palou is going to struggle. I mean, Palou could go out and finish top 3 at both
I wouldn't
Iowa.
say they're being like you going in there saying like I'm going to win these, but the confidence is definitely has to be there, and I think that also that goes a long way.
Josh, was Caleb's panic button quote, was that before the 500 or after?
It was
Before.
You cannot walk back and take credit. No, you cannot do the I told you so on 4 races in the year asking if we need to hit the panic button on this guy. I will not let you do that.
Being 80 points back, I still stand by that. Like
If you said it now, then I would give it some merit.
No, when you're still 80 points back, like you pretty much at this point in your season, like you are relying on that strong run, and it's just not a guarantee. Like you're pretty much relying on having to be perfect the next 7 weeks, and that's super hard to do.
The problem is I think everyone's in that situation if your name's not Palou.
Yeah, he's got him on a stronghold right now, but.
I mean, I agree.
I mean, it's his world and everyone's just living in it.
Exactly. Next race at Mid-Ohio, so Palou's not winning that because Graham Rahal's going to, so I don't see how.
Oh, yeah, it was.
And then Toronto's the week after, and everyone knows James Hinchcliffe always wins that race, so. And then it's out.
It's going to be pretty hard for him to win from the booth. But
he's coming out of retirement. He hasn't announced it yet. I'm kidding on that one.
Where did Rahal finish today?
11th.
Holy cow.
Rain Man.
Making progress.
He was flying today.
Making progress.
Wow. Would that move him up to 19th in the standings?
I didn't look past the top 10 of the standings.
Have to get my digs in.
Move.
He's 17th.
Yeah, there we go. 2 spots higher than Caleb wants.
His place marker.
That's where he runs every week. That's great.
Is it time to hit the Remember Me button on Graham Rahal?
Not even close.
Nope. I'll continue to sleep throughout the night on him.
Oh, man. I hope he wins one more IndyCar race in his career. I'm going to dance on camera. We are going to record a podcast. Win.
Team.
When is he going to win a race?
Davey Heskin just won at Knoxville Saturday, or Damon. Anything can happen.
You're right. Anything can.
If you asked me last year, after last year's Indy 500, I'd be like the Indy 500. But then after watching this year, that ain't gonna happen. That's not the race.
It ain't gonna happen.
We need to figure out the package for that. So, one other thing. So, there's this big dynamic of like the fans are waiting for IndyCar to get new cars and change stuff. The racing has been amazing.
Why? I don't get it.
If it's
not broke, don't fix it. That's why we have the cup problem.
Exactly.
Every couple years, they're like, well, we have to change it. Even if it's good racing, we have to change it. And now here we are with this disastrous car that we currently have.
We got to change it because the Phantom Fan Council says so.
It just it I don't understand it, because I don't watch the races and go, man, I'm tired of looking at the same cars.
Yeah, like I had a tweet last year. Sorry, Caleb. I thought you were done with that. I wasn't trying to talk over you. I had a tweet last year about during IndyCar testing at Iowa that I was looking at their setups and their telemetry stuff, and not like the actual numbers. Not privy to that. Only on the sprint car land where people let me do that. But I was looking at what goes into these guys when they're just testing, and how many computer screens they have up, and how many monitors, and the whole thing around the car, how many parts on the car you can just take off and put a new one on that's sitting right next to pit road. And I was like, it's crazy looking at this up close about how much stuff you can fix on this car in 3.5 seconds with no issues. And F1 fans from Twitter and my boss, Chris Williams, were like, huh, you think you have technology in IndyCar? You look like a nerd talking about technology in IndyCar compared to what we got in Formula One. I'm sitting here like, I don't know. Of the two cars, I can tell you which one goes faster. It's not the overseas series.
I mean, it's insane. Even like, okay, so like when I did stuff with Mason Mitchell, like it blew my mind. And granted, like they usually do a 1-day show. So like in the morning, you move in, you unload, you get ready to have practice, and then you have qualifying, and then you have the race, and then you load out. And
background for everyone, this is ARCA.
ARCA, yeah. But it's like even just the technology that they have at that level is crazy. But it also amazed me how like just in their schedule, like there was never a moment where there wasn't a hand on the car. From the moment that the car gets unloaded until the time that it goes out for the green flag, like there's a hand on the car at all times. Somebody's constantly doing something to that car. And it's crazy. Even on the late model level, like it was crazy to me how many things we could change, to make, like it's crazy. The abilities and the technology that they have for all that stuff. So yeah, even like on the levels of IndyCar and F1 where it's, they lean into it a bit more. I mean, it goes beyond our understanding.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I hope they don't change it. Just like, if you change it, I want it tested substantially to where we can guarantee the same product.
I feel like they're a perfect happy medium between, well, and NASCAR has gotten a little bit more like technologically advanced lately, but like they were like that perfect medium of like in between NASCAR and F1 of, where they have the little bit of technology and the advancements and stuff like that, but it's not super, super crazy.
Yeah, they got that technology and the all that stuff from NASCAR. People want to see more horsepower. I get it. But on the other side, they have passing. It's something that F1 doesn't really have a lot of. So really, yeah, best of both worlds. I like how you said that, Caleb.
It's just a perfect medium, and there's no reason to change what's not broken.
I do feel like it's kind of a stab at F1 in itself, but it's kind of hilarious how IndyCar social media will post the amount of numbers of passes that they have.
Well, I mean, I think it is a little towards that, but they don't usually bite into that rivalry. I think what they're trying to do is get people to watch it.
Yeah, lately they've kind of been more open about like, hey, like we provide better racing essentially.
And that's that NTT data sponsorship. That's what the people wanted to see from that. So when you talk about like what upgrades did they make in advertising and stuff like that, that is a big part of it, sending those numbers out.
Yeah, and see, I just don't subscribe to the theory of like, if you want to watch IndyCar, watch IndyCar. Like if you want to watch F1, watch F1. Like I'm all for just watch whatever racing you want. I'm not a huge person of like, oh, you watch F1, well, you're stupid because of that. Like like just watch racing if you want. But yeah, when you get into like, oh, F1's better because such and such, or IndyCar's better because of such and such, it's like, it just, watch racing, support racing. Don't throw down another series. That's like the whole dirt versus asphalt thing too. I just
Yeah,
thought
Connor.
Yeah, well, that was definitely a shot at me, Caleb. And I just want to say I would never say mean things, as much mean things about F1 as I did, if they had not proven to me time and time again that they are trying to beat out and defeat motorsports that we watch today. Every other series in America wants to complement each other. They all want to work together to some point, like to some little bone in their body. Obviously, there's rivalries. There's different series that compete against each other. But at the end of the day, they know they're all helping each other in almost every aspect of everything. F1 comes in and it's like, what should we do for our American race? Let's hold it in Texas the day of the NASCAR race at Texas Motor Speedway. That'll be great. We're just going to dilute both fucking parties. It's stupid. And then they oversell stuff and do this Vegas thing and they're robbing people of their money. And it's disgusting.
I mean, it was directed at you, but you kind of.
Well, I had to do that anyway. I wasn't gonna, because I want to clarify.
You doubled down on it.
I want to clarify that the reason I harp on those guys, because I tell people to watch all these forms of racing, I do feel a little hypocritical about it. But what I feel, in my opinion, with F1 is they're trying to end what we have here to the point where they want to be the only racing series in the world, and it's disgusting to me. And watch this kid buy his way into a F4 ride at 13.
I like how you say that, but literally, like,
that's what's happening. It's disgusting.
But it's the same model that goes on here in the U.S.
I would say that's happening everywhere.
Yeah, you got to race your way to the front, though. It's not all car.
But that doesn't. That you
no,
still.
No. Don't normalize what I just said. No. It's a hypothetical. We're not doing that.
Yeah. So William
Exactly.
Swalwell would love to have a talk with you about that.
Hey, he just beat Jesse Love on a short track. I didn't think that was going to happen.
But okay, so why? So in this case, it's him driving it, and it's not him in a Joe Gibbs car.
Yeah, because he's not in a Formula One car. They're both in Joe Gibbs cars.
Okay.
Was the 20 Venturini, or was it Joe Gibbs?
It's a Venturini car.
Okay, that's the same thing.
Is it?
Because you don't have the F1
I
problem.
don't think it is.
No, Joe Gibbs definitely has a lot more access to data and money
Access to
to
data
supply.
and money, and yeah, like
That does not explain how Jesse Love led 198 laps of that race.
okay, but you're missing the point of like
What?
how is it in like you can just throw a blanket over and say, oh yeah, just some 13-year-old kid buying his ride and the car drives it for him, but then you've got the kid William Swalowich, who how do you think he got there? And then he's in a Joe Gibbs car,
right?
But it's him that's doing all the work.
So the FIA
People buy rides all the time.
Yes, I definitely get that. And I've seen a lot of people buy rides, and to me, it's not despicable unless you stink. But if you're getting better and showing you're kicking ass, and I don't care if you bought the ride or not. That's
So, for instance,
sports this year, or not this year.
And Michael Annette for that instance.
Before we get too far onto this side of that, the FIA's little, here's what you have to do to get into F1 is, well, we're going to take F2 drivers. That's it. Nobody else. And we're going to say IndyCar winning that championship is less impressive than winning F2. Absolute travesty that's what goes
but
on.
okay,
The fact that Colton Herta was struggling to earn enough super license points to be able to drive an F1 car is absolutely insane to me.
Okay, so listen to this though. You, on one hand, have a car that is similar to an F1 car, and they run the similar schedule to the F1, and you're saying that should be less than driving a different car when you have ovals and stuff like that. Like a
car that's harder to drive, goes faster, and has way more talent in its series by a long shot.
But again, see, this is where you didn't
You can't swing me on F2 being more like more of a preparation for Formula One than what IndyCar is.
You can when there's the similar cars and they're racing at similar tracks.
The Formula One cars are easier to drive than Indy cars.
Okay, but they're not even similar schedules. How does Gateway prepare you for F1?
Well, you're going faster than you ever do in an F1 car.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So by that nature,
I'm not saying it directly prepares you, but they race at random speed courses.
By that nature, any NHRA drag racer should qualify for F1.
No, they're not turning, but yes.
Oh, but if you're just going,
I feel like I missed the point of this.
I know. I don't know what we got into this, but you can't convince me that Formula 2 is better than IndyCar in any aspect of what they do.
I would say I understand why they would take them over IndyCar drivers, but I don't think you should outright deny an IndyCar driver.
I think there's politics to why they're taking them over the IndyCar drivers, and it's because driver talent doesn't get you very many places in Formula One. When it's all a strategy team, what they're doing with how far the cars are separated from one another with these spending limits that did absolutely nothing. There's no driver in it. You just have to drive the car fine. Caleb, say something, because you're just sitting here staring at me. Are you guys trying to do a on pause thing? Yeah, no, we're all moving. Josh has moved 4 times since doing this.
I don't know what to say. That, I mean, it's just, it ain't gonna go very far. So
I don't know. We should talk about something else. We do need to tally up the points for the season long tracker for our picks. I think me and Damon are gonna have a huge lead because we're doing another dirt race this week. I'm just looking at the schedule. Nashville.
See, in my opinion, I feel like we should do 2 races every week, and it should be like the biggest dirt race of the week and the biggest asphalt race of the week, and that's
just a lot more to add. But okay, let me look at the other weeks and see what it would be.
It's no different than what we did.
Huset, we can do it. It's fine. I'm fine with either. Ooh, next week is the street race at Chicago, so that'll be awesome.
That's okay. For that race, we might as well all just like put some names in a hat and draw them out. Like,
I'm gonna pick guys who aren't racing.
Morgan Shepherd is my pick.
Are you protesting?
I'll take Landon
protesting that one?
Morgan Shepherd is a great pick. I'm gonna take Steve Park.
Maybe we should do a driver draft of retired guys you would go party with or something.
Oh, that's easy.
You want to do one now?
No.
Oh,
I want to get moving along.
All right. Did you have anything else result-wise from this weekend?
Brian Shirley picked up another win tonight.
He's just going to win every Hell Tour event.
Third of the season, grabbed another one in the Hell Tour because I don't think Bobby Pierce was there. But I guess I cannot confirm that he was or was not at that event.
I don't think he was.
So I gotta give a quick shout out to you, Connor, because your so-called best friend, his son is $75,000 richer after last night.
Antron has not called me up asking for $10,000. So
yeah, exactly.
At 75 now.
Exactly. His son's already got you covered. No, Anson Brown defeated Sean Langdon, who's a Top Fuel world champion in the.
I thought I knew that name. What race were they in?
They were running a bracket race over in St. Louis called the Twin 50s, and it's just this big money bracket race for anybody who can meet up the standards. And Sean Langdon's a Super Comp champion and a Top Fuel champion, and Anson is racing in his second ever Super Comp race, I believe is what it was. And he goes out and puts together one hell of a package to beat Sean and win 75,000, which was really cool.
Is Antron's kid just the second coming, or the drag racing version of Hayden Deegan?
You could call it that, I guess, if you want.
Oh yeah, Deegs. Good
Can't,
win, buddy.
can't confirm. Can't confirm. So good for Anson. And the other one I got to throw out, I mentioned Robbie last podcast because he is sponsored by Karl Auto Group as well. And it worked because they go to Cordova this last weekend and Robbie wins the B field in Alcohol Funny Car. So
Hell yeah.
Really cool deal for Robbie Massey. Kid that
We're
I
a really
used to-
big drag racing podcast with this.
I'm telling you, the drag racing world's about to take over.
So can I ask dumb questions?
Go.
What's a bracket race? Like why do you call it a bracket race? Is it a tournament bracket?
No, it's
where you have to time in to, like, you run a 391, you got to go run a 391.
Yes, exactly. So that's how Anson won, is he put together an 11th package. He went 006 on the tree. So he had a reaction time 006 and he ran exactly on his dial with a 5. So I think he was like 471 was his dial in, and he went 471 with a 5. Which 11 thousandths in a drag race is hard to beat.
So your thou there was talking about incrementals of seconds.
Yes.
Fractions of a second.
Yes.
Got it. And then what kind of car was he driving?
He was driving a Super Comp dragster.
That's what you called it? Okay.
Yeah.
So I've seen a couple of those run at Eddyville.
Yeah, you have.
Nationals.
Yep.
It's really tough there because they run 70 fucking classes and there's 16 big cars.
Well,
however many they put in the field, right?
That's for the fuel altered. But yeah, there's there's the year that I won junior dragsters at Eddyville, I think there was 52 junior dragsters in the field that weekend.
Will you be there with me this year cheering?
There's a possibility. I can't confirm nor deny.
Dude, I've told you my favorite thing is to stand up and just go crazy for the junior dragsters.
See, the whole landscape has changed since I was there. I told you I've not been to Eddyville since 2010.
Yeah, that's what, dude. Everyone that I talk to that I try to convince to go to Eddyville because they might want to come is like, it's changed so much since the last time I was there.
It's not that it's changed. I don't know. We got out of it, and I wish I never got out of it, and I just haven't been back since.
Glenn says he'll fight someone if he goes back there.
Yeah, he will.
David knows. That's my favorite part. Career update for me on the drag racing game. I've gave up playing it again. I got to top fuel. I won 7 of the first 8 races, and there's no difficulty changer, so I can't make it harder.
You should change the tuning settings to challenge yourself. Try something different, Connor.
Oh, you're saying just to try and go faster?
Yeah.
I got to do that at Knoxville on my setup ways to try to get that car faster. My package there it's coming along. We're down to 13. 410 at Knoxville.
At least you're getting around it fast.
That is 1.7 seconds faster than the track record at Knoxville, and the game's goal is like 12.6, and it's like
there you go.
It's too short of straightaways. I think that's pretty much all we got. Huset's this week. James McFadden going to be on a tear. Almost won that event last year. I'm excited to see what he does. Who else are you looking for, Damon? When do you want to do the preview?
We can do it sometime midweek when we kind of figure out a list of who's going to be there.
Yeah, we'll have to just.
I am curious because I did see. I could be mistaken, but did I not see that Larson's going to try to run that this week? Could be mistaken, but I'm almost certain I saw that his name was listed at that event, which would be monumental because he's not been at Huset's for a long time.
I'm going to do some research real quick off the cuff.
You do that because, like I said, I cannot confirm nor deny. Outside that, though, I think, I think it will be interesting to see if Sheldon can keep going. What does he have with it? And, David Gravel's running at the family track. Can he keep his hot streak going as well?
I'm not sure, but yeah, I would say with how much that race is paying, everything about it, I would say that Kyle Larson is likely going to be there. I don't know that for sure. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to be there. I don't know why my brain is telling me like, don't you remember seeing something? And I can't remember what I saw. So
I thought I saw a press release that they put out, but I can't get it to load.
yeah, I'm not sure. Knoxville Nationals entries open tonight too.
Yes, they did.
Who do you think is going to be first, Brown or Schatz?
Probably Brown.
Schatz's team got a lot of flack from fans calling conspiracy on him, on the Tony Stewart Racing guys, for being on the internet, seeing that this form was available to fill out and then doing their job and filling it out right away.
Good for them. They took care of business.
I thought it was funny when I saw that because I'm like, man, if they can make conspiracy out of that, my creativity juices feel really low on our.
Found it. Kyle Larson is confirmed to run the Huset's High Bank.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So that'll be. I mean, that's a storyline in its own to see him run it.
I'm so excited, dude. There's everything that is anything to talk about in sprint car racing is going to be at Huset's, and like Saturday at Knoxville is probably the lightest field of the year. And then on top of it, we didn't do any post-race interviews because of the storm, which sucked. We almost ended up doing one at Dingus, but
I do want to also add in, it is listed that Buddy Kofoid is listed in the 55 for this race, by the way. So that is on the entry list that is on Huset's website.
So that would line up with, because their press release, how it read was, he's the driver here. We're going to do the Ohio Speed Week schedule and then figure out where to go after, which is kind of how I took it. So I'm not saying he's out of the Vermeer car at all.
Well, no, he's listed in the Vermeer car this week.
Right. But if the 83 Junior is parked in California right now and he wants to go run for a weekend, I could see that happening. So I don't know where the pieces are coming together on this.
For what it's worth, Ian Madsen's still listed in the 2KS. So
what site are you looking at?
On Huset's website.
On their pre-entry?
They have released the entry list and event format for this race.
Gotcha.
That came out June 16th of 2023.
Oh, they have their format published?
It says it is titled Entry List and Event Format for Huset High Bank Nationals.
Well, go into the format tab and see what it says there. Are you clicking into it?
For each preliminary night, all drivers will time trial, 6 heat races being inverted by 6 positions. Drivers will earn points from time trials and heat races. Top 20 in points will lock into the A main. Top 8 will redraw to determine the first 4 rows of the main event. The best 2 preliminary night point totals, lowest score will be thrown out, will be combined.
Oh,
Determine Saturday's lineup. So they're running 3 events or 3 nights, and they're taking 2 of the 3 nights. So whatever your lowest total is getting thrown out.
I kind of like that. What do you think of that? I guess
I like it. I think that, because it doesn't hurt you if you have a bad Friday night,
right?
It doesn't hurt you as bad if you have a Friday night where you get caught up in somebody else's mess. And so guess what? Now you got Thursday to fall back on or Wednesday to fall back on. You get to use those races as fallback. Think about it. If you're a Brad Sweet who goes and wins on Wednesday, goes and wins on Thursday, but gets caught up in somebody's mess on Friday, well, it doesn't hurt you as bad.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't realize it was the literal first thing on here. That is weird that the entry list hasn't been updated with Chase Randall's name. That would just mean that it was put together before last Monday or so, or whenever the hell that got announced. Yeah, I like the 2 out of 3 thing because I think we see too many big names that I get like the Knoxville Nationals, like every lap matters a lot type of deal. But I think you'd like to see a big name get some redemption from having one wreck not offset his whole week. So I like that aspect of it a lot.
And they're also doing a King of the Hill event
Yeah, I
alongside
think
of
they
it.
did that last year.
Yep. Top 4 in overall points will advance to a King of the Hill. So that'll be.
And then are they
Good
taking like
format.
the 4 heat winners from Saturday or qualifier winners?
I believe so. It doesn't necessarily say.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like sometimes these are like hit or miss on that type of stuff, but it does say the entire event format and points chart can be found on the Huset Speedway website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you guys want to, we can sit here and talk for 5 more minutes and see how long it takes me to find this.
I think that's a bad idea.
I know I would just link that. Why is that something that you make hard to find?
Because it's not up yet.
It says it can be found, as in like now.
I'm guessing it means once the event gets started.
Don't smart ass me, Damon.
Okay.
Kidding. Now it says full event information on my race pass. Anyway,
I think it's time
it sounds like what? Go ahead.
I think it's time to pack it in.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm gonna like the format. We'll see, but it looks promising, and it was good last year. I hope we don't have a door incident again.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, that was rough because we didn't know it happened until like 17 laps after it did. So,
Well, I knew it happened.
I know. Yeah, I found out from your text.
Yeah.
Hopefully the connection's good this year. Maybe they beefed up the internet with this $250,000 purse.
No.
Probably not. It's all going to the purse. Plus, you're still in South Dakota.
That's what I was going to say. You're in South Dakota.
Like,
Check in, mate.
you ever seen the T-Mobile maps and it's just blank in South Dakota?
There's a reason that it's blank there.
Nebraska and South Dakota.
As long as we can figure it out.
They have to give all the South Dakota power to North Dakota because they don't get out of the snow until right about now.
Oh, man. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. We'll be with you all week long here at Always Race Day. Thank you for supporting what we're doing. And hopefully we'll have a few guests join us through the week. Josh and I are going to be walking around with the microphone, basically. Might end up with some podcasts, might do a post-race party show. I don't know what we're going to do yet. We haven't talked about it, but that's why we have the podcast, so we can have content meetings about what we're going to put on it. So hope you guys enjoy. Appreciate you. We will see you sometime this week. Keep an eye on our Twitter. We'll let you know when it's coming.